Hello everyone and welcome to today's video. Today is my latest installment in my deep dive into the 2024 presidential election series. Today's video focuses on the very important battleground state of Michigan. Michigan and its 15 electoral votes is one of the closest states in the entire country. It was decided very narrowly in both 2020 and in 2016 and will certainly be one of the closest states once again in 2024. In 2020, Joe Biden won the state of Michigan by just 2.8%. In 2016, Donald Trump won the state by just 0.22%. Michigan is looking like it's going to be once again one of the closest states in the country. And in today's video, I'm going to be breaking down some polling data, election history, and key counties I'm watching for on election night 2024 that may give us an idea at how Michigan is looking. Starting with Michigan's presidential voting history, in 2020, it voted for Joe Biden by 2.8%. In 2016, it voted for Donald Trump by 0.22%. And in 2012, Barack Obama defeated Mitt Romney in Michigan by 9.5%. The current polling average right now from Real Clear Politics RCP polling has Donald Trump at 48.4%, Kamala Harris at 47.2%, a 1.2% lead for Trump over Harris right now. As for the national vote, in 2020, Joe Biden won the popular vote by 4.4%. 2016, Hillary Clinton won it by 2.1%. And in 2012, Barack Obama won it by 3.9%, leading to an average across the three elections of 3.5%. Currently in the 2024 head-to-head national polling average between Kamala Harris and Donald Trump, Harris holds a 0.9% national lead over Trump. However, even though Harris is ahead, this is not the best news for her, as that would be less than half of what Hillary Clinton got in 2016 when she won the popular vote by 2.1% but lost the Electoral College. Kamala Harris, based on the national polls, is projecting to do even worse than Hillary Clinton did in 2016 if all things remain true. Looking at how Michigan voted compared to the national vote, in 2020, Michigan voted 1.6% more Republican than what the popular vote was for the United States. Again, that was that 4.4% number. In 2016, Michigan voted 2.32% more Republican than the popular vote of the United States. And in 2012, Michigan voted 5.6% more Democratic than the popular vote of the United States. So for an average popular vote difference from 2012 to 2020, Michigan voted Democrat plus 0.56% more Democratic than the popular vote. However, when you isolate that to 2016 to 2020, Michigan voted Republican plus 1.96% more Republican than the popular vote. So very interesting. Going back to 2012, the Democrat would usually outperform in Michigan more than the popular vote. But since 2016, it's the Republican who outperforms more in Michigan than the popular vote. So very interesting, a very close state. Looking at what Michigan's polling error looked like in past elections, in 2020, it overestimated the Democrat Joe Biden by 1.4%. In 2016, it overestimated the Democrat Hillary Clinton by 3.7%, and in 2012, it overestimated the Republican Mitt Romney by 5.5%. So that was an average poll error from 2012 to 2020. In Michigan, it overestimated the Republican by 0.13%. However, when you isolate that down to 2016 and 2020, it's a lot more staggering, a Democrat plus 2.55% more for the Democrat. So that's a very important thing to notice, is that in the recent elections, it has overestimated the Democrats way more than it has the Republicans between 2016 and 2020 in Michigan. As for the statewide forecast for the state of Michigan, no surprises here. Real Clear Politics, Sabado Crystal Ball, 538, Decision Desk HQ, The Hill, and Cook Political Report all have Michigan as a pure toss-up state. No surprises whatsoever here. At the current polling averages for the state of Michigan, Real Clear Politics currently has Trump leading by 1.2% of the vote in its RCP average. Nate Silver's Bulletin has Kamala Harris leading 0.6%. 270 to Win has Donald Trump leading 0.4%. Decision Desk HQ The Hill has Trump leading 0.6%. And 538 has Harris leading 0.1%. Certainly a very close race back and forth. That 3 out of the 5 forecasters do have Trump ahead, so Trump is narrowly favored in this category, but it is incredibly close. And we're looking at a margins of just a few tenths of percentage points are deciding if Trump or Harris is leading in Michigan. Very close. Looking at the political market forecasting odds, Polymarket has Trump at 59% in the state of Michigan to win it. Harris at 41%. This would be like a lean characterization at the presidential level. As for national, Trump currently has 64.3% to Harris's 35.7% as of the time I'm recording this video. This is certainly an advantage for Trump in these respective areas. Some key counties I'm watching for in Michigan. There are a lot of counties in Michigan I wanted to go over, but I prioritize the population of people in these counties and choosing these. There are some other counties at the bottom that I am going to talk about a little bit more that I wanted to go into as well. First county I have to talk about when it comes to Michigan is Wayne County. This is where the city of Detroit is. This is the biggest pocket of votes, especially for the Democrats in the state of Michigan. In 2020 alone, Joe Biden got over 597,000 votes just from Wayne County. Trump got over 264,000 votes from Wayne County. So it's a lot of people in this one little area. It's very important to watch for. In 2012, Obama won it by 46.8%. 2016, Hillary Clinton won it by 37.3%. And in 2020, Joe Biden won it by 38.1%. Given the size of this county, just a overperformance or underperformance by 1 or 2 percentage points could make the difference between winning the state of Michigan and losing it for Trump or Harris. So the margins in this county are very, very important to watch for as well. Looking at a suburb of Detroit in Oakland County, this is a county where in 2020 Joe Biden got 434,000 votes. Donald Trump got 325,000 votes. It's a suburb of Detroit, so naturally has a lot of people. Oakland County was 8.1% Democratic in 2012, 8% Democratic in 2016, and then in 2020 it was 14% Democratic in 2020. This is a county I'm watching for, especially in 2024, to see are the margins closer to Biden's 14% or Clinton's 8%. Because if it's closer to Clinton's 8%, that at very least means Donald Trump is overperforming in this county and could be overperforming statewide. So that's going to be a very, very important one to watch, what the margins are in Oakland. It will give us a good glimpse at what the voter turnout may be like. Now, also right next door to Wayne County, next to Detroit, is Washtenaw County, where in 2012 it was a 35.9% win by Obama, a 41.3% win for Clinton in 2016, and then a 46.6% win for Biden in 2020. And similar to the other two counties, it's all about the margins, a 5% jump from Clinton to Biden in 2016 to 2020. The margins in this one will be very, very important to watch for in 2024 on election night. Biden got over 150,000 votes in this county. Trump got over 56,000 in this county. So this is a very, very important one. Again, to seeing what voter turnout is like and if Harris is able to match the margins that Biden had in 2020. Harris's job in Michigan is to try and match what Joe Biden did. If she can match what Joe Biden did in 2020, she should be able to win the state. If she's underperforming Biden, then it depends by how much, because that may be enough ground for Trump to make up and win the state. So that's very important to watch in a Democratic area like Washtenaw. Now, Macomb County, just northeast of Wayne County of Detroit. This is a 4-point win for Obama in 2012, an 11.5% win for Trump in 2016, and then an 8.1% win for Trump in 2020. This is also a very large county in terms of population. In 2020, Trump had over 260,000 votes in this county. Biden had over 223,000. This is a very, very big win right outside of Detroit for Trump, and Trump needs to likely get back to the 2016 numbers of around 11.5%, 12% range in the margin of victory in this county to be able to win Michigan. If he's running at the same numbers of 2020, that could be a troubling sign for him. If he's running closer to 2016, that could be a sign he's in play to win statewide. Not going too far away, going a little bit up north, but not too much, is Genesee County, where in Genesee County, Joe Biden won it in 2020 by 9.3%. Hillary Clinton won it in 2016 by 9.5%. But in 2012, it was a 28.2% win for President Obama. This county had over 119,000 votes for Biden in 2020. Trump had 98,000. And this will be another not as solid Democratic area as, say, Wayne or Oakland, but it will be a good area to look at in terms of how Kamala Harris is running among Democratic voters. This is a county that should be a Democratic win, but the question is by how much? If that 9.3% or 9.5% is like a 6 or 7% number margin of victory, that could be a sign Trump is doing much better than expected in an area like this and could be better overall statewide. If Harris is doing above 9.3, that could be a sign that maybe her voter turnout was up and she is overperforming what we many expected in the state of Michigan. So that is very important as well. Next, we're looking at Kent County. Kent County, this is where the city of Grand Rapids is. So there's a decent amount of people living in this area. In 2020, Biden got 187,000 votes. Trump got 165,000 votes. So definitely a lot of people in this area. This is also a flip from 2016 to 2020, where in 2012, Mitt Romney won it by 7.7%. 2016, it went down a little over 4 points. Trump won it by 3.1. And then it flipped 9 points from 16 to 2020, and it was won by Biden by 6.1. Kent County's an interesting one to watch for, and we're going to find out on election night how this county is going in terms of margin of victory. Once again, if Trump is winning this county, then or overperforming the 6.1% for Biden, that could be a very good sign that Trump is running well ahead of his 2020 numbers in Michigan. If Harris is keeping pace at 6.1 or doing better, that is obviously a very good sign for her. Next, we're going to go to Ingham County. Ingham County, this is where the capital city of Lansing is. This county had about 94,000 votes for Biden in 2020 and 47,000 votes for Trump in 2020. It's going to be a Democratic stronghold, no doubt. Again, like many other counties, the question is, what are the margins in this county? It was 32.2% in 2020 for Biden, 26.9% for Clinton in 2016, and 27.8% for Obama in 2012. The margins are what we're watching for here. Next, we're going to Saginaw County, which is just north of Genesee County. And this one is not as big as some of the other ones, but it's one of the more competitive counties, where it was 51,000 votes to 50,000 votes for Biden over Trump in 2020. So it's a smaller county compared to some of the other ones, but it's certainly very competitive. 11.9% win for Obama in 2012, a 1.1% win for Trump in 2016, and then a 0.3% win for Biden in 2020. This is expected to be one of the closest counties in the state, and depending on who wins this county, could give us an insight at how maybe the race is going statewide. Next, I'm going to go to a county of Ottawa, which is right outside of Grand Rapids, a suburb of Grand Rapids, and it had over 100,000 votes for Trump in 2020, over 64,000 for Biden. It is a county that's expected to be a Republican county, but the trend from 2012 to 2020 has been getting less and less red, despite it being a very reliable red county. 34.3 for Romney, 30.5 for Trump in 2016, and then 21.5 for Trump in 2020. Trump needs to get these numbers back up to the 2016 30.5% chance, or 30.5% to have a chance at winning Michigan. And lastly, we have Kalamazoo County. This is on the southwestern part of Michigan. This is a county that's expected to be a Democratic county as well. But again, we're looking at the margins here. Over 83,000 votes for Biden in 2020, 56,000 for Trump. And it was 13.3 plus Democrat in 2012, 12.8 Democrat in 2016, and 18.7 for Biden in 2020. We're watching the margins here to see, does Joe Biden's jump of about 6 points from 16 to 20 go back to what it was in 2016 for Clinton? Where does Harris end up performing on election night? That is what we're watching for. Looking at the Michigan county map, in 2020, Joe Biden got 50.6% of the statewide vote, and Donald Trump got 47.8% of the statewide vote. And again, I'm going to just get the numbers for you just to get this accurate as possible. Joe Biden won statewide by 2.8%. We're going to look right first at Ottawa County, where it was 59.8% for Trump, 38.4% for Biden. Kent County, right next door, again, this is where Grand Rapids is, 52.1% for Biden, 45.9% for Trump. Kalamazoo County, right here, 58.4% to 39.6%, a win for Biden. Ingham County, right here, 65.2% to 33%, a win for Biden over Trump. Saginaw County was 49.4% to 49.1%. You're going to find that one right here, right south of Bay County. Genesee County, 53.9% to 44.6%. That is a win for Biden over Trump. Macomb County, right here, 53.4% to 45.3%, a win for Trump over Biden. Oakland County, right here, 56.4% to 42.3%, a win for Biden over Trump. Washtenaw County, 72.6% to 26%, a win for Biden. And Wayne County, Detroit, 68.5% to 30.3%, a win for Biden over Trump. Now, as I mentioned, there were some key counties I did also want to mention really quickly. And I'm just going to look at the map and show you exactly where they are, because it's going to take time to go back to the other side, so I'm just going to do it on this map. So one of the ones I want to talk about right here is Muskegon County. And this one is not as big as some of the other ones, but still has about 45,000 votes in 2020 for Biden, 45,000 for Trump as well. So it definitely has a lot of people in this county, not as much as some of the others, but it does have a lot of people. This is a very close county in 2020, only 0.6% separating Trump and Biden in 2020. So Muskegon County is certainly going to be a very, very close one I am watching for on election day as well. Unfortunately, the graphics can only be so big and that you can only put so many numbers on the slide, so you kind of run out of room. But Muskegon County is a very, very close one I'm going to be watching for on election day 100%. And north of that is Isabella County. This is a smaller one where Trump got about 14,000 votes in 2020, and a little over that, Biden got 14,000 votes, almost exactly, in 2020. Again, this is one that was very close, under a 3% margin of victory in 2020 for Trump, so I'm going to be watching this one very, very closely as well to see what those numbers end up being. Going up now to Grand Traverse County, right here on the middle, not the middle part of the state, but northwestern middle part of the state. This was 30,000 votes for Trump in 2020, 28,600 votes for Biden. This is going to be a very close county to watch for an election night as well, to see how Trump and Harris are performing statewide. Those are three counties I really just want to point out briefly because I think they are going to be important to watch. There are lots of other smaller counties as well that are going to be a few tens of thousands of votes, few thousands of votes that are going to be competitive. Marquette County right here in the northern part of the panhandle of Michigan. This part's going to be very competitive as well, or the peninsula of Michigan, excuse me. This will be a competitive one. You have Berrien, or I want to get the pronunciation right, Berrien County on the north or the southwestern part of Michigan. This will be a competitive one. This had about 40,000 votes for Trump, 37,000 for Biden in 2020. This will be a competitive one. Van Buren, right north of it, 21,000 to 16,000 in 2020 for Trump over Biden. There are lots of these counties all around Michigan, and I'm not going to spend a ton of time in the next few slides going over them, but I wanted to mention them now because there certainly are a lot of counties in Michigan I am watching for that I think are very, very important that I just don't have enough time for the sake of the video to go over, but there are a lot of close counties to watch for in Michigan. Looking at the 2016 map where Donald Trump won the state, he had 47.5% of the statewide vote. Hillary Clinton had 47.3%. Ottawa County, 62 to 31.5 win for Trump. Kent County, 48.1 to 45%, a win for Trump. Trump won this county in 2016, lost it in 2020. Kalamazoo, 53.2 to 40.4, a win for Clinton. Ingham County, 60.3 to 33.5, a win for Clinton. Saginaw County, 48.2 to 47.1, a win for Trump. Trump won this county in 2016. Genesee County, 52.3 to 42.9, that was a win for Clinton. Macomb County, 53.6 to 42.1, a win for Trump. Oakland County, 51.6 to 43.5, a win for Clinton. Washtenaw County, 68.1 to 26.9, a win for Clinton. And Wayne County, 66.8 to 29.4, a win for Clinton. That was 2016. I'm now going to look at 2012. A much bluer map. Obviously, Obama won with 54.2% of the statewide vote. Romney got 44.7%. Lots of more blue and lots of more solid blue in the surrounding Detroit suburban area. Saginaw as well. Genesee as well. And this is what the ceiling for the Democrats is probably going to look like in Michigan. I don't think we're going to be seeing this map anytime soon. But Obama had a very good performance in Michigan here. Ottawa was 66.6 to 32.3 for Romney. Kent County, 53.2 to 45.5, a win for Romney. Kalamazoo, 56.1 to 42.8, a win for Obama. Ingham County, 63.2 to 35.4, a win for Obama. Saginaw County was a very close county in 2020 and 2016, was 55.5 to 43.6, a win for Obama. Genesee County, 63.6, 35.4, a win for Obama. We have Macomb County right here, actually a Democratic win, 51.5, 47.5, a win for Obama. Oakland County, 53.6 to 45.5, that was a win for Obama as well. Washtenaw County, 67.3 to 31.4, a win for Obama. And Wayne County, 73 to 26.2, a win for Obama. Certainly goes to show how more close and red Michigan has gotten in the last few elections than it was in 2012. This map is very different from what we see now for 2024, so that is very interesting. Looking at the two political parties and their vote percentages and using that to estimate a range for 2024, in 2020, Donald Trump got 47.8% of the statewide vote in Michigan, so even though he lost the state, he did perform better in Michigan than he did in 2016. In 2016, Trump, when he won the state, got 47.5%, and in 2012, Mitt Romney lost the state with 44.7%. That is an average vote percentage across the last 3 elections of 46.7% for the Republican candidate. I then took the highest number, 47.8, minus the lowest number, 44.7, got a solution of 3.1. I took 3.1 and added it to the high end and subtracted from the low end to get our 2024 estimated range, which has on the low end 41.6% and on the high end 50.9%. So I'm very confident, barring a massive polling miss, that Donald Trump will get somewhere between 41.6 and 50.9% in the state of Michigan on election night 2024. The question is now, where will that number lie? On the Democratic side, in 2020, Joe Biden got 50.6% of the vote. 2016, Hillary Clinton got 47.3%. And in 2012, Barack Obama got 54.2%. That is an average vote percentage across the last 3 elections of 50.7%. Now, taking the highest number, 54.2, minus the lowest number, 47.3, this was a solution of 6.9%, so a much larger spread than the Republican side, where it ended up being on the low end 40.4% and on the high end 61.1%. So this is very, very interesting. The floor for the Democrats in Michigan is actually lower than the Republicans, but the ceiling for the Democrats is much higher than the Republicans. So that was very, very interesting. I think what this means is certainly either party is capable of winning the state, and I think you may even be able to say that 9 out of 10 times the ceiling for the Democrats is certainly higher than the Republicans, which would usually benefit them. However, we're not used to seeing in Michigan Trump being up 1.2% in the state. Compared to the polling in 2016 and 2020, we never saw that. So we're kind of in uncharted territory in seeing Trump leading in the state of Michigan in the polls. But like always, 2024 has been a very unconventional election. So we really just have to kind of roll with that. And looking at the factors now for the state of Michigan, the state polling data, as I mentioned, Trump is up 1.2% right now. That factor goes for Donald Trump. The head-to-head national polling data, yes, Kamala Harris is leading by 0.9, but that would be the closest popular vote margin in any of the last few elections, and by a lot. So that certainly benefits Donald Trump and would lead to a likely electoral college win for Trump and a popular vote defeat. The polling momentum, this one is certainly a win for Trump. Michigan had about a 2-point lead for Kamala Harris just a few weeks ago. Now Trump is leading here by 1.2. Trump has been gaining a lot in the polls in every single swing state around the country, and Michigan has been one of the ones where he's been gaining a lot more than some of the other ones. The polling error advantage, this one I was very tricky on because from 2012 to 2020, it was a very narrow advantage actually for Kamala Harris, where the Democrat was up by 0.56%. So I can understand giving that to Harris, but from 2016 to 2020, it was 1.96% for the Republicans. So you could really make an argument either way for this one. But given that 2016 and 2020 is more recent and such a bigger number, I feel more confident giving it to Trump, but I can really understand the argument for giving the polling error advantage to Harris. It's really back and forth. So if you want to debate me on that one, that's totally fine, but that's a really, really close one. The forecasters' ratings is a pure toss-up in every single one of them. Neither candidate really gets an edge in that. Certainly a very, very close race. Since the 2012 election history, Michigan's been won by the Democrat 2 out of 3 times. That is certainly a benefit for Kamala Harris, the Democratic candidate. The forecasters' markets, I showed you the poly market odds in Michigan and nationally, that is an advantage for Trump. The Cook PVI, I have it up on another screen right now. I'm looking at it. Michigan is between even and Republican +2 for the Cook PVI, so that does benefit Donald Trump. The trends overall from 2012, this is when I went over the county map and I showed you Obama won the state by 10 points. Trump won it by 0.22 in 2016. Biden won it by 2.8 in 2020. It's a lot more of a red state than it was in 2012. Even though Biden won it in 2020, you have to give that to Trump given how much the state has trended red from 2012. Overall advantage, 7-1 in terms of the factors I have for Trump over Harris. And if you want to give the polling error for Harris, that'd be 62 in favor of Trump. Trump would still be favored based on all the factors to win the state of Michigan. For my prediction for the state of Michigan and its 15 electoral votes, I'm predicting that Donald Trump will win the state of Michigan with 49.4% of the vote. Kamala Harris comes in second, loses the state of Michigan to Donald Trump with 48.3% of the vote. Michigan's very, very interesting because it's very, very close. It's a very competitive election, and I think the polls right now has it at about 1.2% on RCP, and I think that's very close to what it's going to end up being. I can't imagine Michigan being a 3 or 4 point victory for Trump over Harris, and I just think Trump is, first of all, going to likely overperform what he got in 2016 and 2020 in the state of Michigan, 47.8. He's almost certainly going to outperform that. The question is, how much does he outperform it by, and what does it end up being? So the Republican and the Democratic numbers are kind of hard to guess in Michigan, seeing as there's really not a track record for a Republican getting over 50% of the vote in Michigan. That has not happened yet. If Trump does it on election night, he'll be the first Republican in Michigan to do that, I think since the 1980s, so it's certainly been a long time. I'm still sticking with Trump getting under 50% of the vote, given the fact that even though Trump, I think, is going to win the state of Michigan, it is still the most Democratic at the presidential level of the three Rust Belt states, Wisconsin, Michigan, and Pennsylvania. And I think Kamala Harris, she's not going to be bad enough like Hillary Clinton was in the state of Michigan in 2016, where it's 47.3%. I don't think she's going to go quite that low. If she did, I wouldn't be terribly shocked, but I don't think she's going to perform that poorly in Michigan. I think 48.3 is kind of a respectable number where she's not performing where she needs to, but she's also not getting blown out in a swing state that has a past of being a Democratic state. 48.3 to 49.4 is a very close race, and I think a respectable margin for the state of Michigan for 2024. In the margin of victory of 1.1%, it aligns right now where Harris is leading the national vote by 0.9, and the average popular vote difference in Michigan was 1.96. If you take 1.96 minus the 0.9, you get about 1.16%. So that pretty much lines up with where I think the margin of victory would end up going. Looking now at the 2024 electoral map, where Donald Trump winning the state of Michigan added to his column, Trump now has 311 electoral votes. Kamala Harris has 152. And this looks like a very lopsided margin right now, but it also is worth mentioning. I still have a lot of states to go, including most of the states in the Northeast and New England that are going to be Democratic states for Kamala Harris. So that big number of like 150 electoral votes separating Harris and Trump is going to go down very, very quickly. It's just the way the deep dive series worked, going from west to east. That's just how it's going to look, but it's going to be smaller than 311 to 150. That's just how it looks right now. But yeah, we have most of the Democratic Northeast coming in next in the deep dive series to close out the series. My next state is going to be the state of New Jersey, so please stay tuned for that one. That should be a very good video as well. In the meantime, please enjoy the sneak peek at my full 2024 election night prediction. It is now 9 p.m. on the East Coast, and we have a second huge poll closings of the night, including several key, very important battleground states. The states with their polls closing right now are Arizona, Colorado, Kansas, Louisiana, Michigan, Minnesota, Nebraska, New Mexico, New York, North Dakota, South Dakota, Texas, Wisconsin, and Wyoming. Now let's take a look at what projections we can make at this time. In the state of Michigan, 15 electoral votes, one of the most important battleground states of the election. We can say that Michigan right now is too close to call. Very important one to watch for throughout the night. That will do it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please remember to give it a like. And if you really liked it, please remember to click the subscribe button. And make sure you turn post notifications on so you always get notified when I post a new video. That way you never miss one. Also, please remember to share this video with your friends and family if you really, really, really like the video. And remember to stay tuned because I'll be posting at least one video every single day leading up until Election Day, so I'd really appreciate it if you keep coming back and watching those videos. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in a future video.